Okay, so if you were paying attention to number 5 on the first link, then you know that this dependent clause is the subject of the sentence, and it is necessary to have it there because otherwise that independent clause does not stand alone. Going on, number 6. Again, we're looking for clauses that start with WH words or how or that. Here's one right here. Which is our first word. It is a pronoun, which is going to start out this noun clause. Remember, we learned sometimes the which clauses are non-essential. Sometimes they're essential, actually, because there's no comma here. This one's probably essential. Our first clause here is some scientists are trying to determine. Scientists is your subject. Are trying is your verb. What are they trying to do? They're trying to determine. That's an infinitive phrase there. That's what they're trying to do. That's the direct object, to determine. Now, what's the thing they're trying to determine? They're trying to determine this. They're trying to determine which plays a more important role in shaping personality, heredity, or life experiences. Dependent clause, because we have a subject and a verb. Noun clause, because it starts with a which, and it's a thing. It's the thing that the scientists are trying to determine. So that noun clause is acting as an object of an infinitive, and we learned about that. It's an OI, object of an infinitive. Sometimes these are called objective verbals because an infinitive is a verbal. Number 7, we've got whether, which starts a dependent clause. We know it's a clause because it has a subject, order, and a verb effects. And then you have your independent clause part over here. This leads to the question of. That's the independent clause part. Because we have this little of right here, it's not a verb, and it's not any other kind of word. It's of, and it's a preposition. Our dependent clause is an object of a preposition. So that's an object of a preposition or an OP. It is the thing of which the question leads to. What does it lead to? It leads to this thing, this question. That thing is a noun clause. Number 8, looking at WH words and how and that. We've got an independent clause right up here at the top. It's got a compound subject with books and articles. So books and articles, what do? They describe. They describe three things. We have 3 noun clauses. The first one's right there. How? Firstborn children tend to be bossy. How? Middle children tend to be diplomatic. And the third one right here. How? Youngest children tend to be fun-loving, and so on. Don't really need so and so on. That's just kind of like a little extra phrase at the end there. All 3 of these noun clauses have the same subject and verb, but the subject and verb are repeated 3 times, so that's 3 separate noun clauses. They all start with how, definitely dependent clauses. Now, these 3 noun clauses are things. These are the things that are described. The books and articles is the subject of the independent clause. What do? They describe. Describe is your action verb. These are the 3 things that they describe. So those are 3 nouns that come after the action verb. They're receiving the object of the action verb. So these 3 noun clauses are each direct objects. 3 of them. 3 direct objects in number 8. Number 9. Looking for WH, how and that words to start our dependent clause. Here's that right here. We've got a subject, we've got a verb. That is definitely a dependent clause. At the beginning, we have a prepositional phrase to start us out in the late 1990s. Then we've got a subject, scholar Frank Sulloway. What did he do? He offered. What did he offer? A mass of evidence. There's our direct object. Here's a couple phrases. In an effort to prove. So we got a bunch of phrases going on here. So the thing that he was going to prove is this. He was going to prove this idea, that later-born children are more likely than first-born children to have rebellious personalities. That idea or that thing is the thing he was going to prove. It's a noun. It's a noun clause. So it comes after to prove, not just plain prove, like an action verb prove, but it comes after this idea here, to prove. So this is the thing he wanted to prove. That noun clause then is the object of an infinitive, or an OI, also known as an object of a verbal. And that's about all the time I have because that's my 5 minutes. So hope you get that. Number 10, hopefully you'll figure that one out. That's a toughie. See you next time.